Welcome to the 2019 State of the Southern Gospel Union address. My name is Paul Secord, the Gospel Road Coach, and right away I want to answer your big question. Why am I the one who gets to deliver this esteemed address? Well, the answer is very simple. Because no one else is doing it. Okay, here we go. I had prepared a wonderful, elaborate, flowery speech for this address. And yesterday, as I was reading over it, I decided it was boring. But then I happened to have a coaching session with one of my students, and something we spoke of in our conversation really struck a nerve with me. And it gave me just a glimpse of the actual state of the Southern Gospel Union today. And I knew right away I was going to have to share it with all of you. This man came to know the Lord very late in his life, but God changed his heart, and he knew right away he wanted to do something special for God. He wanted to serve God in a new and interesting and fun way. Right away, he became a DJ at a local Christian radio station. Well, people began to become attracted to his low, deep voice. They started to inquire, are you a singer? Do you sing in a quartet? Well, he had fallen in love with quartet music, but he didn't know how to sing quartet music. One thing led to another. Next thing he knew, he was in a Southern Gospel quartet. He could carry a tune, and he could sing in the absolute basement. So he started to reach out to people he knew, artists, groups, other bass singers. He started to ask for tips, pointers. What microphone do they use? How do they communicate this type of song? How to deliver this on stage? How to prepare vocally for a concert? Little things like this. And something incredible happened. No one would help him. So he reached out to a cousin, someone he knew well. His cousin was a quartetter. Somebody that had sung in groups for years, has a successful ministry in Southern Gospel music. His cousin won't tell him a thing. And that is the current state of the Southern Gospel Union. And frankly, it's upsetting. It upset me. What are we doing? Are we fighting over this pie and no one is thinking about baking a bigger pie? After his tearful testimony, honestly, he said, Paul, before I came across your information, there was nobody out there that would help us. Nobody. You're the only one. God help us. Our backs really are against the wall. We really are up against the ropes. If the Gospel Road Coach is the only one out there that's helping somebody out. Here's the problem. We spend a lot of time in our music industry, in Southern Gospel music, looking back. We spend a lot of time romanticizing our past, the golden era of Southern Gospel music, everything we did, our cultural relevance, everything we accomplished. And you know what? We should be proud of that. We should appreciate it. Our traditions, our heritage, that's our history. Those are our roots. But I'm telling you right now, any business or company or music genre that spends all of its energy romanticizing the past and putting that on a pedestal and not leaning into the future or building their legacy. By legacy, I mean things that you pass forward. Well, they're just a generation away from becoming culturally irrelevant. Where have we found ourselves? Are your crowds getting bigger? Is your viewership bigger? Are your listeners more? I have a good friend that was a program director for a radio station for many, many years. And at the time, it was a Southern Gospel radio station. At the time, he said there were over 300 charting Southern gospel stations in the U.S., and you had to be a 24/7 Southern gospel station in order to chart. And now, there are 50. And you don't even have to be full-time to chart. You tell me, are we winning the war in cultural relevance, or are we losing it? Here's what I want you to do in 2019. I want you to give something away. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your equipment, your time, your passion, your calling. I want you to give it away. Give it away to somebody that's 20 years older than you, that will reach a demographic that you can't reach simply because of your age and how you look. Give away your knowledge, your time, your wisdom, your passion. Pour out into an artist that's 17 years old, because they have a sphere of influence that you can't have as a middle-aged 45-year-old man. You see, once they take the gospel and pour it out, then the water level rises and all the boats go up. But we're too afraid. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. It's time to use all of those things. But we're too protective of this little thing that we have. Well, what if they take one of my dates? Listen, there are 350,000 churches in America. If they take one of your dates, go get another date. What if they take a slice of your pie? Bake a bigger pie. It's like being in a plane that's going down and the oxygen masks drop out of the ceiling and you put your oxygen mask on and you're like, all right, I'm good because now I can breathe. But the person next to you, you haven't helped them put on their oxygen mask. They're struggling. And you know what? They know how to fix and fly planes. Why don't you help them out? They could be the one that saves us all. In 2019, I want you to pour into the life of another artist. I don't care if you're an industry icon. I don't care if you're an industry beginner. I don't care if you've been doing ministry for 30 years or 1 year. If you're a studio musician, if you have skill, talent, knowledge, wisdom, passion, pour it out. It's the only way we all win. I want you to do something in 2019 for Southern gospel music that sets it up for success in 2119. What are you passing forward? Not what did you do 30 years ago. I'm sure it was great. But how are you building this? How are you saving this? I hope you hear my heart in this. I love you. I love Jesus. And I love music. And man, when all that stuff comes together, it changes lives. And that's important. My life was changed by gospel music. You know people that have come to know the Lord because their hearts have been pierced by the message in a song. But are we going to continue to fight over 1 million fans? Which next year will be 900,000 fans. Which 10 years from now will be 100,000 fans. Are we going to continue to fight over them? How about 10 years from now we have 10 million fans? It's going to take giving way more than it takes taking, and way more than it takes looking back. Give in 2019. History versus legacy. Fear versus hope. Which side are you on? And that's the state of the Southern Gospel Union in 2019. I pray, I hope it's an entirely different game in 2020. Until next time, this is Paul Secord, the Gospel Road Coach, and I'll see you out there.